Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Be Local podcast. We are starting here at the sunny Duff House. We've got much better weather today, yeah?
Yeah, we have. No rain. It's great.
Well, this is going to be like the one episode where we have like nice weather.
Yeah.
I'm planning on driving out towards Port Soy today.
Okay.
So there's almost... Ice cream?
Didn't you bring my purse?
I've got... Oh yeah. That old chestnut. We needed ice cream, but I didn't bring my purse. Actually, to be fair, I had some really good customer service from them.
Did you?
Yesterday, yeah. I'd gone out with work, and we were sat out by the lake having what they call an affogato, which, if you haven't had one, is incredible.
Okay.
It's like an espresso with a scoop of ice cream in it, vanilla ice cream. Oh, it's
really like coffee, yeah?
I love coffee. But I love like iced coffee as well. Like, I was going to get you one this morning, and it was £1.70. I was like, fuck that. But yeah, I love an iced coffee, me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they do these things called affogatos. They're a shot of espresso and a scoop of ice cream,
okay,
or a double espresso and a double scoop of ice cream. I think that's the small and the large. Anyway, I'd ordered 2. It was my colleague's birthday, and she didn't tell me until like I saw it on Facebook as she was pulling up to work. So I felt really bad, because normally I'd like at least pretend to care.
Yeah.
No, I'd make a bit of a fuss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were at the petrol station, and I was like, oh, I could get her a little cake, but they only had like old school, like primary school cake. Do you know?
To make her feel really old.
No, that's all they had.
Oh, okay.
But it's amazing. Have you ever had it?
No.
It's like when you're at school and you get that cake with the icing on top, and then it's just covered in
Pink
custard.
icing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They sell that at the petrol station. It's so good. I think Annie's Cakery makes it. That supplies
lovely.
them, but it's so good. But yeah, I thought I can't give her that.
Yeah.
Like a sponge in custard. Happy birthday. So they had these Lotus Biscoff truffles.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And so I got those, and then we went out to Port Soy, and I got us these 2 affogatos, and they were just really small, and I'd ordered a large, so I presume that they just got the order mixed up.
Yeah.
So I'd messaged them, and I didn't get a reply, so I thought, oh, they didn't care. But then I got a message a couple of days later saying, oh, we're really sorry, we missed your message. What can we do to make it up to you? They gave me a list of like 4 different things they would do to make it up to me.
Really?
Yeah, and they were like, we can refund you for this, we can send you a voucher, we can do this, or we can do that. And I was like, well, to be honest, I'm there loads, so a voucher is great. So they're sending me like a £5 voucher, and I thought that was really good customer service.
That's lovely.
Especially, it's going to cost them like £1.80 to post it to me, and we're literally driving to Port Soy right now. Could have got us collected the voucher there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I thought it was really good.
That's really nice, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think he's going to be messaging an ice cream shop, praying that they don't get their message.
Yeah, please don't see my message. But no, and I sent a really shit picture as well. So like, I assumed that they went by cup size, because inside there was 1 scoop of ice cream in this thing in a little cup.
Yeah.
So I assumed that you'd be able to tell by the cup that it was not a large, because what are you paying for?
Yeah.
Like, what's the upgrade from a small?
Yeah.
Because it was a small scoop of a small scoop of ice cream inside an espresso.
Yeah.
But so I took a picture of the side of the cup, and they're like, oh, sometimes we just use any cup if we run out. So I'd sent like really shit evidence that I'd been shortchanged, and they still provided great customer service. So thank you very much, Port Soy ice cream. It doesn't take a lot to impress me, but I like it when someone goes above and beyond.
Do you not think so that's what makes the difference in any business? Is like, the reality is that everybody's going to make mistakes. It's human, it's natural, but it's how you deal with the mistakes and how you fix them that makes the difference between a good business and a bad business.
Definitely. But I also like it when there's a bad business. I don't like it when it's local, but I like it when I see online and they've got like these reviews, and in the response to the review they're like, fuck you.
Worst attitude in the world.
There was one that was like notorious. It was like a hostel in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And there was like full-blown rant, like arguments going on in the comment section, where someone had said, like there was a rat, the TV was falling off the wall, like there was questionable stains on the bed sheets, and they'd be like, "What do you fucking expect? It's 15 quid a night." And
You're lucky there was a roof.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, I kind of enjoyed it because I'm like, I understood both sides of the argument.
Yeah.
You don't want to go somewhere where there's like questionable stains on your sheets.
No.
But also at the same time, when you're paying 15 quid for a night, when you go to a nice, it doesn't even need to be like a high quality, but you go to a nice place.
Yeah.
And you pay like 100 and something quid a night, you're paying 10% of the cost. Should you get 10% of the quality?
No.
No.
I think that there's a basic standard of hygiene, and no matter how cheap you rent a place out for, if you're going to put a room out for £15 a night, that's your fault. There's still a basic hygiene that you expect for any room. Now, I would expect dust, I would expect marks in the walls, lights hanging off maybe, but I'd expect it to be safe, I'd expect it to be clean, and I wouldn't want questionable stains on my bed sheets. Maybe on the mattress, fling a mattress top and a sheet on there,
Yeah.
cover it up.
But I mean, you'd know firsthand like the cost involved in maintaining cleanliness.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things in that really. One, that if you're already paying your staff enough, like you're paying them well enough for that to be part of their duties, then I get it.
Yeah.
But also, it's not cheap to run like laundry for a massive establishment. I don't know how big this place was.
Yeah.
But I mean, I expect their clientele, people that are like backpacking and covered in mud and sweaty, they just want to shower and somewhere to crash. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, can you ever justify dirty sheets?
No.
No.
You could even get, like, if it's going to be like that, go and get disposable sheets, or like that. You can get, like, there's so much of a variety of quality of sheets. Like, you can go and buy like £120 for Debenhams for a duvet set, or you could go and buy £5 for other stuff for a duvet set, and it feels cheap and the quality feels cheap, and you can spit through it, but it's clean.
Spit through it. But I mean, it's not necessarily that it's not washed.
No.
It's just some stains are hard to get out.
Oh,
you'll know, you've got boys.
Hi, good. Hi, they're really young.
Yeah, but you're telling me that their pants always come clean?
We don't really have that in our house.
That? Oh, you want to meet my kids?
No, it's been like one of the basic things that you need to make sure that you teach them how to wipe their bum.
We taught them how to do it. Don't get me wrong, there wasn't like I've always questioned myself, like, was there a time where I was taught these things in life? And do you know what I mean? Like, when do you learn? Like, I watched an episode of Embarrassing Bodies.
Yeah. And
this guy, he'd never washed under his, I apologise to listeners, but he'd never washed under his foreskin. And he just didn't know that was what you were supposed to do. He washed the outside of his wiener, but he didn't know that you were supposed to pull it back and clean it. Oh. And it's like, what stage do you have that conversation? Especially like if you're in a really conservative family and you don't really sort of talk about that sort of stuff.
I suppose.
I mean, where do you learn how to wipe your bum properly?
Well, surely it's just really itchy if you don't. But you tell me that you need to wipe more.
Well, yeah. I mean, surely it's logical. If the toilet roll's not clean, you're not clean. Do you know what I mean? You don't do one wipe and be like, well,
no,
the toilet roll's dirty, but the toilet roll's dirty, but I must be clean. No, but do you know what I mean by like those sorts of stains? Yeah. Like they I imagine they wash the sheets. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna be clean.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you want to go the back road to Brookside?
That's why I'm trying to work out how to get there.
Oh, sorry, it was that turn off button.
Why exactly do you point out after I'm already past it?
Because I always just assume you know what you're doing.
Believe me, there's very little times in my life where I know what I'm doing. Oh, God.
Because there's Boyne, I think it's Boyne Castle, which is up there. You can't actually see it from the road, but you can see where the entrance is. And you walk across a field.
Hey guys, look at this really cool entrance. It's literally a hole in a field, but it's very cool. Right. Point out where it is.
Right, it's the next left.
I like the way you pointed out though, as soon as I passed it. This one here.
No, that's a house.
No.
Very nice house.
That is a banging house.
Yeah, there's another one along there that's absolutely smashing. If you ever want to just go driving around the countryside looking at the beautiful
I quite
houses.
often do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I often think, like, if I sold everything I owned, would I be able to buy a house like that?
Yeah.
And I own a lot of crap, so probably.
Yeah, maybe you could, yeah.
But then I'd have nothing to fill it.
I always think that my granny and papa always think I'm like Del Boy who only fools in horses, because I'm like, this time next year, Sean, we're going to be millionaires. And I grew up telling them that I was going to build a house at the bottom of my garden so that I would be able to look after them when they were old, so they would never have to go in a care home.
I thought you were talking about Sean. I'm going to build you a house at the bottom of my garden, and then I don't have to look at you. I don't have to speak to you. You can go and live in your little house. I essentially had that. I had a shed that I was relegated to. All my stuff had to be put in it. And then it started getting a bit damp.
Oh.
And when you've got like a really nice computer in there, and you've got like a load of nice stuff. Well, I say nice stuff. I tend to destroy a lot of what I've got, but
yeah.
Like I had a nice 3D printer, and it was getting like rusty in bits, so I started moving stuff into the house. But
and now you're back in there full time.
no, I'm in a cupboard under the stairs.
Harry Potter.
Like Harry Potter. That's literally like, but it started, I claimed the whole cupboard.
Yeah.
So I got enough stuff to fill the whole cupboard. And it slowly started turning into like the back half of it is for the house. So like more and more I'd go and look for something in mine that's at the back, and it's just buried under a ton of crap.
Yeah.
Like 15 pairs of kids' shoes on top of like a kid's bike on top of a kid's electric quad bike.
I can't cope with that.
Would you just throw your kids' stuff away?
Yeah. Last night we like what we tend to do is we've got a dressing room and we put everything in there. And
dressing room?
Well, it's like at the back of the bedroom. There's like a separate bit that's like all our clothes and everything go in with shelves in there. Well, it's a bit bigger than that.
A big wardrobe?
Yeah. A walk-in wardrobe.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. So,
dressing room? Who calls it? You're not bloody... You're on TV.
I've actually just always called it the dressing room.
It's a walk-in wardrobe.
I used to get dressed in there.
Why? I don't want you to see me. I don't want you to see me naked. I'm getting dressed in this cupboard. Am I weird or are you weird?
I don't know. It's a 50-50 chance.
No, yeah. There's a 50. Can anyone watching let us know what's weirder? The fact she calls it a dressing room and actually get dressed in it, even though it's a wardrobe, or am I weird for thinking that she's weird? But yeah, sorry, your dressing room.
Yeah, so we put everything in there, and then like last night we sat and we went through everything. The boys have all got memory boxes each. We pick a couple of things throughout their school year, we put it in there, we bin everything else.
Ruthless.
Who at the age of 18 knows what in handed 12 years worth of school pictures?
I mean,
some of it's crap. Like, some of it's amazing and fantastic. There's one picture we've kept and we'll never forget it. Logan didn't do a lot of drawing at nursery or pictures or anything at nursery, and one day he came home really excited about his picture. And we were so excited to get it because he'd never really done one before.
Yeah.
And it was literally an A4 sheet of paper with like 5 bits of sellotape on it. I nearly framed it and put it in the wall. I'm so impressed.
See, Rudy's the opposite. He doesn't stop making stuff.
Right, so surely you've got to throw some of that out.
Don't tell him that.
No, you don't. You do it when I put them to bed and did it last night, so they never seen.
He cries when we throw his stuff away. Like, he got this Minions toy from McDonald's, but it was like cardboard.
Yeah.
And like...
Oh, I didn't get one of them.
Yeah, it's like a little puffy cardboard thing, and you put the arms and legs on it, and then you change the arms and legs. And Toby had sat on it, so it was like a squashed minion. So it was in this bag of like, because it was Rudy's birthday like last week, so we had this box of like recycling that we needed to sneak into next door's recycling bin. I wish that was a joke. I've been caught doing it. The lady who lives next door.
You could get as many of them as you want.
Can you?
Yeah, just phone the council and they drop them off for free.
Oh, but the amount of
recycling.
But the amount of recycling we do, we didn't have like down that way or that way. This way.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
This feels like you're leading me down some dodgy.
Doing murder you at the back of Boyne Castle.
But yeah, so my whole garden would just be filled with recycling bins. I've just got a nice bench and a barbecue. I don't particularly want loads of recycling bins, and the lady next door, bless her, she said we can stick our stuff in there.
Oh, that's nice.
But it's the guy that lives with her. I don't know if it's her partner or what. I don't want to speculate. But he caught me and was like, "Hey!" I was like, "Hi." And I just, but at that stage when you're midway into someone else's bin,
Yeah.
do you carry on in front of them, or do you take it out and pretend that you weren't planning on sticking it in? Because it's a bit obvious at that
I would
stage.
be handing it in going, do you mind if I do that?
Well, I just sort of put it in and shut the lid and smiled and walked off.
See, you're doing it all wrong. See, our kids, because you hear about people who have to smuggle toys out like Colombian drug lords and things like that. But with our kids, what we say is, if they don't get rid of broken stuff or stuff they don't need, we put it to charity so other kids can get stuff that, like, they can't, like, they might not be able to get normally. So we put it so that they can get it. And also, if they don't get rid of their old stuff, they'll not get new stuff. You've got to make a space for new stuff, so you've got to get rid of old stuff.
Yeah, we tend to have a clear out, but like it's sort of like unjustified sadness. So he found this little minion thing in this box of recycling, and he was like, and Amy was like, "We're throwing it," and he turned his back, curled up into like the fetal position, and was just sobbing. It wasn't even like when kids like do that over the top crying where they like they want attention, they want you to feel sorry. It was just sad, and it broke my heart. And I'm so soft with them. And I was like, "Oh, should we just get this broken, squashed minion out the bin?"
I'm terrible. I'm not that parent. I'd have been like, "Man up," and just put it in the bin.
That's more. That's what she said. Put it back, and you could just see his heart like break as he sticks it into this bag. And I felt so bad. I felt like I'd literally told him.
To be fair though, Rudy's got that face though, where you would just give him anything, get a piece at MD's door. Like everybody just loves him. He's so
Is that a phrase? He'll get a piece at anyone's door.
Yeah.
Is it?
Like a sandwich.
I know what you mean, but like, is that a common phrase?
Well, that's where I'm from.
What are you saying? He looks like orphan, like a
no,
little
like
orphan.
he's so friendly and he's got the wee eyes that MD would give him anything.
Can I have some more?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because he's so cute. We've missed boy class where they turn off.
Oh, for God's sake.
I never seen it. It's back there.
But it's like, he's like the sort of kid where there's no filter.
Yeah.
So we had, like, when we were kids growing up, there was this kid that lived near me. I'm hesitant to say his name. I don't know why, because he's never going to see this, but...
You just never know.
He was chubby, and I was chubby, but he was, like, chonky.
Yeah.
And there was this little kid called Paul, and he used to say to him, "Paul, ask your mum for some biscuits." And Paul would go in and get biscuits and come back out. And I had assumed that he was going up and saying, "Mum, can I have some biscuits?"
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He was going up and saying, "Mum," I'll call him Lewis for the purpose of this. "Mum, Lewis is asking for some biscuits." So it was like unbridled childhood honesty. Like there was no like deception there.
Yeah.
So one day the mum came out onto the balcony of her flat and shouted, "Get your own biscuits!" And I was embarrassed for him. I was so embarrassed for him because we were always under the impression that this Paul kid was going and saying to his mum, "Can I have some biscuits?"
And he
wasn't. He was saying,
he was throwing him under the bus.
"Lewis wants biscuits." So Rudy doesn't have that filter. He'll just go into someone and say, "Have you got any ice lollies? Have you got any this or that?" But he's very like picky. He won't eat in everyone's house.
Do you want to go past Durn House?
Oh yeah, I love Durn House. I got married there.
Oh yeah, so you know it is.
Okay.
I don't even know why I was trying to direct you there. I see your steak pictures. Just going dates.
Alright, yeah. Love Durn House. It's kind of like I like the creepiness of it.
Yeah.
Because it is a bit creepy.
It's old because it's old. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything's old, but
And
it's
especially
nice.
and at night because there's no street lamps around it. It's just pitch black.
It's just all trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a house in the woods.
I got my pregnancy pictures done just beside Durn House with Harry there.
Is there a relevancy? Like, is there supposed to be a relevancy to the scene?
It's a really nice place to.
Oh, right, okay. I don't think I don't know if pregnancy pictures are like a strange one to me.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't do it again.
bad experience the first time.
Just felt a bit pointless. Like everybody knows I'm pregnant.
I cared the first time. Second time, not so much.
Too much till you get to the next kid, you're like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, you're so cautious with your first kid.
Yeah.
But, like, we went to parenting classes.
Did you?
I went to parenting classes, and, like, you're like, oh, it's just so delicate, this little tiny thing you brought into the world. And you're like, oh, he's not eating right, or he's not drinking, oh, he's not sleeping properly. Oh, he's crying. There must be something wrong. And then the second kid, you're like, get on with it, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're like, you've got that bottle balanced on your chin, and you're playing Xbox. They're like this.
Sellotape to them so that they can fall out.
Like the first one, I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I was worried that
I'll be honest, I'm still terrified. Yeah, so there, I got pictures done there. How nice
we had pictures here done at our wedding, actually.
Yeah, it's really nice and photogenic.
The sincerity in your eyes didn't match up with the smile on your face. It was like you were trying to sell me a lie.
Yeah, I was trying to sell
like
cookie phone.
Like it's like you were trying to sell me a photo package, and you're like, oh my god, you look amazing, and I can tell that I'm not looking at the camera. And like mid sneeze or something, you're like, that's the best picture I've ever seen of you. It's like, yeah, I'm not quite sure your face matches the sincerity of your eyes. But no, it is nice. Yeah, we had pictures there taken for our wedding, but
no, the first year of any kid's life absolutely terrifies me. I hate being pregnant, and then they're born, and then you're like, if I can just get to a year, I know I can keep them alive after that.
It's not a house plant.
It just terrifies me.
What?
I know, it's so weird, and mate,
if I can just keep them alive for a year, is that
but the first year, because everything's dependent on you, and it's really terrifying.
I mean, I'm not sure that
you're
after the
in
first year they're independent.
No, but they're moving about in their own and stuff. Before that, they're even relying on you to move them, you know, when they're first born. Like you've got to place them in the right way, make sure their arms not bent or their legs not.
I think it's because the gestational period for humans is a lot less than that of most mammals.
Is it?
Yeah, so like the whole first year of a child's life, generally, they've already. So not all mammals. Some of them come out useless, but like horses and.
But they stand up and walk.
That's because their gestational period is like includes almost the first year of their life. Like, I'm not saying that they're in there for a whole year, but the development equivalent.
Yeah, it happens.
So like the stage a baby would be at in it would sort of have to be about 10 months to a year old for it to come out as developed as like newborn horses or cows or.
Oh really?
Have you ever seen a newborn cow?
Yes.
They're like massive.
Yeah.
Standing up, they're like independent.
Walking.
Yeah. We went up to this glamping place just by Crudy, I want to say. I did a review on the Shop Local group, so if anyone's seen that, there's a few pictures of like the animals there, and there's a little cow in one of the pictures, and it's like a day old, and it looks about 15. Like it's got a haircut.
I won't get a tattoo for that.
It's got a fucking haircut. It's like broad cream. Like it looks about 15, and he's like, no, it's a day old. I'm like, no way. I'm like,
that's crazy.
For one, that must have really hurt pushing that bad boy out. But I think that's kind of how the human body's developed over generations. It's not that they didn't have the capacity to learn what we can learn back then.
Yeah.
It's just that obviously science and technology and like learning patterns, you sort of schools and educational systems, they learn how to teach you well.
Yeah.
But the capacity of the brains back then, I'm talking.
It'd have been totally different as well though, because if you think like with the basics, like without technology and like before all of that, like you would literally need something that you could just strap to your back and go on with your daily life because you were like hunting and gathering and stuff like that. And as they grow and progress, so you can see how humans are like that.
Oh yeah,
they're small and just kept onto you, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. We've gone off on a mad tangent this morning.
Yeah, sorry.
Why do you do that?
What?
You apologise when you haven't done nothing wrong. I've done the majority of the talking bollocks, and you're apologising for it.
I'm really bad for like swerving the conversation and like kind of like I'll hear something and I'll be oh listen to that. That sounds kind of like you always find out the most interesting things in conversations you never expected to have.
Yeah.
with people you never expected to have them with. So I kind of I just like talking to people.
That also
listening.
sounds like you're saying that you didn't expect me to have anything educational to offer.
No, I didn't.
I have the most unexpected conversations with people you didn't expect to have them with. I didn't expect you to know anything.
No, there's like loads of different things. You never know what people know about that you don't.
I'm a whole wealth of useless knowledge.
I think that's amazing, no?
I listen to a lot of like educational podcasts.
You do?
Yeah.
I like listening to what people have to say. I find it really interesting. And learning about the psychology of people and stuff, and like how they work and what makes them tick and things. And if I'm talking, I'm literally really good at talking about cleaning and business, and it's like my two. That's why I can't spend too much time with people, because I bore them to death. Because not everybody's mind works like that. I'm always full of ideas, and the ideas are like, nobody wants to know what I'm planning next or what I'm thinking. Kind of like,
But
there's
that's,
always something keeping it ticking.
See, that interests me. I think that's kind of how we even got on the discussion of doing this podcast, because you spoke with passion about the things you'd educate yourself on, and I think as an adult you're sort of, the burden is on you to educate yourself in anything other than sort of elementary practice.
So
anything other than like your day-to-day living, how to use the washing machine, how to do you know what I mean? No, the stuff you do on a daily basis you have to learn. You do it anyway. Like your job, you'll know your job inside out. No matter what job you do, it's on you to learn that job. But everything above and beyond that is optional.
You don't have to know it.
No, and you surround yourself. I like surrounding myself with people that have something to teach me. And I think that's what I enjoyed about our conversation that we first had when we were out doing those pictures, and that is because I was learning something from you, which I didn't expect. Just to throw that back on you.
That's because I actually don't have. I've not a degree. I'm qualified in massage and reflexology. I started a degree and I had to stop it because the business took off.
But I think the degree is sort of nothing really. A degree is more like a qualification to say that you have the capacity to learn.
So if I went to do a job now, if I went to go and get a job, like stopped business, went and got a job, my degree would probably be handy to have to say, I know what I'm doing.
It shows people that you've got the ability to learn at that level. It doesn't necessarily matter what your degree is in.
No.
Once people know that you have the capacity to learn at that level, then it kind of makes it easier.
Because there was a bit of me that always thought that how important, like, having a degree or something was for your future and what that meant and things. And there was still a bit of me thought like that a couple of months ago. So I started, like, bought, like, courses on, like, finance and things like that to see how much I actually knew. And as well, I always feel a bit like I shouldn't, like, an imposter, like Imposter Syndrome. Have you heard that?
Yeah, where you feel like you're not qualified to be doing what you're doing. Yeah.
So that I decided to do these courses to test this, to see, so that I would gain my self-confidence. And I was sat doing it, and I didn't even have to read it. I just answered the questions and passed the certificates. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I do know what I'm talking about.
But this is the thing. It's about having the confidence in yourself to be able to talk yourself into a job. You don't necessarily have to have all the skills. It's about knowing that you have the capacity to do the job.
Richard Branson says, for the skills that you don't have, you hire people in to do them because it saves you in the long term. You don't have to go and learn every single bit about everything. You hire people to do it.
From a management perspective, it's best to delegate jobs to people. And I think it was interesting when I come into your shop and you've got like everyone's job roles up on the wall. And I don't know whether that's like a reminder to staff, like, look, listen, love, you're out of your lane here. Don't be telling me how to do payroll. or whether it's a open discussion almost to show people that, this is transparent. This is what we do.
See,
what was the goal of having that up on the wall?
Well, the biggest thing with our business is...
Or were you just trying to fill a wall?
It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good on the wall.
Everywhere. No, what it means is everybody knows what their jobs are, and if somebody's got a particular problem about something, like say their rotas or their wages or something like that, if they're not actually sure who to go to, they can go to me, or whoever it is that does it, like
so people know who's responsible for what.
So as well,
I like that.
like, it's in their contracts and stuff, but sometimes it's good for people to see every day what it is that they're doing and what their responsibilities are and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I think that I've been very much like, we need systems and processes, because I've been very much since I started that this business should be able to scale, whether we've got one staff member or 50, this business needs to scale. So when we were sitting at 5 staff members, we had all the paperwork we've got in place now. We've now got 20 staff members, and it's been able to scale like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is easy, but easier than it would be if we didn't have the systems and processes in place already.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it offers a level of transparency you don't get in a lot of jobs as well, because you get like oh god, now this is a sticky situation. We have to chill out by these cows.
Oh look, he's going.
Oh, is he waiting? No. He's seen me pull. Yeah, he's seen me pull to the side. I worked at a call centre once when I was younger, a lot younger, and I was only there for a few months, and it was kind of like I felt like I'd been sold a lie.
Yeah.
So the job description was very clear cut. You'd be contacting existing customers, and you'd be sort of kind of selling them an upgrade package almost.
Yeah.
And that to me felt like a genuine job role.
Yeah.
Like you would genuinely call up, say if I worked for Sky, and I'd call up and say, how's everything with your Sky?
Yeah.
Is there anything that's missing? Could you whatever. But this ended up being, I worked for it was like a company that had a contract through MBNA, the bank.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is it a bank or credit card lender or whatever they are? And you'd call up and say, I'm calling from MBNA. We want to see if you want X whatever service.
Yeah.
But it wasn't it was MBNA customers we were calling, but we weren't MBNA. We'd subcontracted this call centre off.
Oh, that's confusing.
And for one, it felt disingenuous because I wasn't offering existing customers anything, because they weren't our customers. They were, I don't have a clue where this road leads us, by the way. They were someone else's customers that we just sort of almost inherited their call list.
Aye, so you just got their details to phone them and sell them something.
Yeah, and then it kind of, as an adult, because I was only about 17 or 18 at the time. No, I was probably 18, 19 at the time. But as an adult, getting those calls winds me up.
Yeah.
And I felt like, I'm glad I left there. I wasn't there long at all, but do you know what I mean?
You were one of those people,
I was one of those people
most of the people in the country hate.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, I pride myself on my ability to sell something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Not physically sell it, but the idea of something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I could convince someone who's not necessarily into action films to watch a film that's an action film because of how passionate I am about it. Or I sell that idea to someone.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I felt like I was like the reverse of Robin Hood. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't selling the idea to a rich person that they should donate to charity. I was selling the idea to people that were already in debt that they should get into more debt, and that to me was morally wrong.
Yeah.
So I bumped it off.
I think with the business, we are transparent. There isn't, I don't get I think that competition is healthy, and I think it's good, and I think it's needed, because it's what keeps prices reasonable and stuff. But as well, the more companies there is, for example, the more cleaning companies there is, the more we can lift industry standards, so people don't see it as a lower paid job and things like that. We should all be working together and pulling together. I absolutely love it when people tell me that they're setting up a business. I'm like, oh, please come and talk to me, I'll help you, and can show you what I can do, or what I know, and help you along this way and that way. And I just absolutely love it, and I feel like somebody else could set up a cleaning company, and I'd more than happy go and help them do it. But
there's an art to it as well. There's an art to it. So it's about, as you were saying, it raises industry standards, because the thing is, if you're offering a better service for a similar sum, or even more, you should pay what you value your service at. I think it really helps when your competition is doing a good job. Yeah. Because it makes you want to do a better job.
Yeah. See, look, the thing is, people suffer like bad customer service, they suffer a bad service altogether if there's no options. There should be options, you should have options, and it's what keeps your fire going in you to constantly be better in your business. So
yes.
There's no way, like we've been running 3 years now, we've went for just me, myself, out working to 20 members of staff. We've had to change to a limited company, we're away to go VAT registered. In the middle of that, we've had a global pandemic. But we've had to learn very quickly, we've had to learn very fast, we've made mistakes. There's customers that we've had that haven't been happy, there's customers we've had that have been ecstatic, there's customers we've had that will have been with our service for the very beginning, and will continue to stay with us because of the way we deal with things. And we will just say, listen, we've made a mistake, or we've had a member of staff start, they're not up to scratch, we're growing at too fast a rate. We did that at one point where we started taking on loads of staff at the same time, and it was too much to train them all.
Yeah.
So we had to scale back, stay at what we were, and just stop growing for a wee while till we get everybody up to scratch. And that's just what we keep doing. So now we know as a company how many people we can take on at a time, and we just have waiting lists for customers to start, because we don't want our service to suffer because we're growing. Like, everybody should get the same service every time they have it.
I think that's a really respectable thing. It's really respectable to know that you'd rather not have the customers and give everyone that you do have the best quality of service than have as many customers as you can get, as much money as you get, and offer a half-assed job.
Yeah.
And I think that's really commendable.
Well, I think it's because it's no money that motivates us. Like, money obviously helps, we need to pay the bills, but it's no money. Like, I grew up feeling like there would just always be something, like one day there would be an idea that came to me and it was going to be amazing, but it would just happen. And I had 2 businesses before and they didn't work out, and then I was like, something will happen, and literally, like, Sean's granny, she broke her back and I started cleaning her house because she couldn't do it. So I got across and do that, and I had postnatal depression at the time with my youngest son, and I'd just been diagnosed when she broke her back, so I was doing that and it distracted me. I went back to the job after my maternity leave finished, and I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't in the headspace for it. I quit my job to be a stay-at-home mum, and 3 weeks later I announced to Sean that I couldn't do that either. It wasn't for me. The house was spotless, but I just couldn't, it wasn't for me. And so I started cleaning on his days off. I just got a couple of like customers through my gran, Sean's granny, started doing that, and then just kind of ran and built up and got bigger and bigger, and I was like, oh, this is actually something. And 2 months later Sean quit his job and I went full time. 2 months after that we employed our first employee, and we've literally just ran, and it's been like heads down, bums in the air, go for it and see what happens.
Heads down, bums in the air.
Learning your feet.
So what's your main motivator for running a business? Because I mean, I'm not being funny, but I can't imagine like your favourite hobby was cleaning and you turned it into a business.
But I cleaned through stress, so that was my stress relief, which is how it started. That's what that caused that. My main motivator is that, see the people that we provide jobs for, and they come and they get a job with us and they love their job. Like, I like nothing more than providing jobs that people like, and I know that if, like, some people have the attitude like, oh, just a cleaner or whatever, but the satisfaction you get for that, we offer our staff like incentives, and they get commission bonus and like a residual income and things like that to bring in customers doing good jobs. Like, there's really no end to the bonuses they can get, even if they only worked like 5 hours a week. They could go and get a residual income of like £600 a month just with the customers they bring to us. So do you think it's gone full circle though? So it started out as a stress relief for you,
and then the more and more responsibility you take on as a business owner, as an employer, as the person that's responsible for making sure everyone's wages are paid on time, did the stress now rebuild? Like, do you feel like you're still getting the same stress relief from it? Right, I have no idea which way are we going.
Go that way.
You've got no idea either. No.
I have no sense of direction.
I think we're roughly going in the right direction.
I don't think this causes me stress, but no in a bad way. I absolutely love what I do, and even when I'm not thinking about it, I'm thinking about it. But it's because this is what I love. This is my passion. So last year I felt ill. It was due to like a build up of stress and thing, but they reckoned it was over years rather than just what was going on at the moment.
Oh yeah.
So it was a build up of years. So like with the business, there comes a point in a business where you need to know you can't be working in your business if you want it to progress. You need to step back and work on your business. But I really couldn't let go. So what I needed to do was I needed to step back and work in the office.
Delegate
everything.
Yeah.
But I was terrified. And this was my baby, and I needed to be there at every clean. I needed to do that in the middle. I was doing paperwork at 12 o'clock at night. I wasn't sleeping. Like, it was ridiculous. And I fell ill, and I had no option. I was literally floored for about 6 months.
Did it annoy you, though, that once you were forced to take a step back, that actually it ran as well, if not as, maybe better?
No, it means I was an absolute genius. I had everything in place to allow that to happen.
Yes, but also, did it not piss you off you'd not done it sooner? Like, you're not taking that step back sooner?
I know that I'm relieved that it happened, and it made me step back when I did.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened, but I felt like I probably had to get to that breaking point before that was ever going to happen.
Yeah, you're too stubborn.
Never let go.
You're too stubborn, too set in your ways.
Scared.
This is how it's got to happen. So what do you do outside of work?
What do I do outside of work?
Right.
I think about other businesses that I could do.
How many other pies can I put my fingers in?
I really enjoy like spending time with the kids. The kids do a lot of football. 3 of them are new in football, and I absolutely love it. I like travelling and going places and seeing things. So like, even just flinging the kids in a car, a picnic, and literally jaunting around the countryside looking at nice houses. We do that sometimes. Quite like that. I love reading.
Anything interesting?
I actually like entrepreneur books and stuff.
Do you think it's had a big influence in who you are as a person?
Oh yeah, definitely. Duncan Bannatyne's book. I mean, I'm not going to go and get an ice cream van and start ice cream wars, but like him going for like having nothing to building up to something and being able to like provide all these jobs for people. Like, he literally employs hundreds of people now.
Yeah.
Like,
It's got gyms and all sorts, isn't it?
Yeah, spas and care homes and all sorts of stuff. And I love hearing stories like that and speaking to people who do things like that.
I think if I had an injection of capital, like someone gave me $100,000, I could have a multi-million-pound business in a year.
Do you?
Yeah, easy. I think for me, it's not necessarily coming up with an idea or a business plan or whatever. I've got no issue with that. The issue is, as soon as I see all those barriers, as soon as I envision all these barriers that are going to be in my way, then everything goes out the window. So like, for example, I do design work, like freelance design work, 3D design for people.
Yeah.
And I've designed like I helped design this thing. It's like essentially a bubble blower.
Okay.
Like a kid's bubble gum.
Yeah.
It's like that sort of idea, but it fills like edible bubbles.
Okay.
With like scented vapor.
Oh, okay.
So, and they use it in like cocktail bars. And so I was offered like a percentage of it, or I was offered like to be paid for my help, not for my work. And I had in my head, all the ifs and buts and all the negatives and all the possibilities that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could just take the cash.
Yeah.
And I took the cash, and he secured like a contract with like Disney World. he's got the guy that runs it. He's just got a mad mind for business.
Yeah.
He's just very, very good. and he's great at finding these investors and these people that that will sort of fund these mad ideas that he's got.
Yeah.
And he's done amazing with it.
See, when you have my first negative thing, the barrier I had was when I had a person come to me and I was providing part-time jobs because I didn't want to overcommit, because I was scared about providing hours for employees, right?
Yeah.
So this was like the first year. So just as we hit the end of the first year that we'd been running, somebody came to me that I really wanted to employ, but she said I need to be full-time. And I was like, oh, and I said to Sean, I am so terrified of taking on somebody full-time and committing to this, and she's relying on us and things like that. And I turned her on, I did it, like, feel the fear, do it anyway, because it normally results in something fantastic. Did it, turned a step back, so I got a couple of days where I got to have a bit of time off and focus on the business rather than in the business. Yeah. And then the following week I'd filled all that space again. And I was working as much as I was before. So
do you think it pays to take the leap?
Yeah, it's the faith to just go for it. I think it's like feel the fear and do it anyway. It's the constant thing that's in the back of my head. For me taking on the shop, that's a 3-year lease. Like, oh, what a commitment that is. Like, I used to be like, I like to be able to just walk away from something. Or the ability to walk away from something.
I suppose it's like agreeing to marry someone.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, a lot of marriages these days don't last 3 years.
No.
So essentially you're signing up to a marriage.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost you.
You kind of have to make sure it works.
Yeah. I suppose that's kind of, the thing is for me, because I've got like the family that rely on me, and Amy works like a part-time, it's kind of like I can't afford to take too many risks. Yeah. And I do it a lot with like buying and selling stuff, a bit like Del Boy. Yeah. You know, I often will buy stuff that I know I can sell for more, and I sell it for more, and there's been very, very few times where I've not made money. Yeah. And it's like a good residual income. It's a good sort of like, oh, we need a bit of extra cash, I can sell some, like I collect playing cards. Yeah. And I've got a funny amount of playing cards. But I've got some incredible deals, and when I say to someone, oh, I've spent 200 quid on playing cards, they're like, are you mad? Yeah. But like, there's one deal I did, I bought like 40 decks of playing cards for like 200 quid, and I sold 3 of them for £300.
Did you?
So I had 37 decks then, and 100 quid up. Yeah. So that 37 decks, even if I got a £5 each for them, I'm still making money. Every time I sell one, I'm making money.
So then it's maybe a case of, so the money you make for those things, so like you have your job, right, that pays your bills and everything like that, you have that. So then you have your side hustle, and you have, but everything that you get for your side hustle is what goes away to get put into something bigger and better that will release you for your day job and give you the time freedom.
I love my day job though.
So you don't want to leave it?
I don't want to leave it. No. That's the problem, I think. Yeah. I think the saying is like, if you do a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah. And it's kind of true. Yeah. Like if you love your job, then I could be offered another job that's paid 3 times as much. Yeah. And I love the people I work with. Yeah. I love the job I do. Yeah. I don't know if I could do it. Like I'd rather be happy in skin. Yeah. Not that I'm saying I'm skin doing what I'm doing, but I'd rather be happy in skin than miserable and rich.
Well, see, my thing with the business is the reason I love self-employment is there's times where it gets stressful and hairy and things like that, but I wanted time freedom. So I wanted to be able to spend my kids' childhood with them, and then when they're older I can go and do whatever I want. I can work 100 hours a week or whatever. But I wanted the opportunity to be at home with them, but I wanted to be with Sean at home. I didn't want both of, before I fell pregnant with Adam, we were working back to back, looking after the kids in between. He was doing day shift, I was doing night shift, and it's just to keep the bills going and stuff. And I was like, this is miserable. It's not. I didn't get with Sean to only see him for half the time or a quarter of the time. Like I didn't want to spend the kids' childhood bursting my gut, miss it. Then they become teenagers and we're financially alright. Yeah. And they're like, what did I have kids for?
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
like-
for me, I'm kind of blessed in a way because, like, my hours suit our life.
Yeah.
Like we get to spend a lot of time with us,
Yeah.
with each other, with the kids, and it's great. But I mean, I completely get that, and I suppose it's this modern climate where you need 40 grand to put down on a house these days.
Yeah.
You need, like, not so much up here. We're quite lucky. Like,
Yeah, prices are quite good.
the house prices are great, but
Yeah.
you're talking like a 2-bedroom flat in London costs you £1 million.
Yeah.
Some parts, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I suppose, growing up, I never really had ambitions of owning a house.
Yeah.
You know, I never expected that I would be able to afford to buy a house, or I never
Yeah.
thought I'd like have enough money. Like, you're talking, you could be paying £3,000 a month to rent a place down there.
Yeah.
So you never
So-
really think that you're going to have the
Yeah.
freedoms you have coming up here, and it's sort of like when I came to the area and I realised that we could buy a house and afford to live.
Yeah.
It just became a lot more real, and I suppose it made it less of a priority to find a job where I'm being paid £50 an hour,
Yeah.
because we can live and have a good life with what
you've
we've got.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I suppose.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered. I don't want. Like, I'm not bothered about being a millionaire or having hundreds of extra money or money just sitting about or whatever. What I want is to be comfortable. So I want the bills to be paid, a bit to spend, with the ability to do stuff. So, and just have that bit of flexibility. I don't want to be sitting. I mean, like, when we first got together, we worked really hard. We both arrived in a relationship with a bit of debt, and we worked really hard to pay it off. And that was my biggest thing, is I wanted to be debt free. I don't want to be sat with debt. If we can't afford it, we don't buy it. Like, we save up and we get it. And I want the freedom of that and the flexibility of that. And I'm quite happy to wait for something if I, to save up for it.
Why is this gas bottle in the middle of the road?
Looks like you stopped halfway through a job.
Yeah, we could at least get the gas bottle out of the road. Debt free is kind of the problem is you need to get in debt to get anywhere in life, and that sounds ridiculous, but it's like when we were looking to get a mortgage.
Yeah.
I didn't have a credit history, so I hadn't had any credit cards, I hadn't got anything, and the mortgage advisor says you need to get a credit card, you need to build your credit score, because it really affects your life. Like, you want to buy a new car, sometimes you've got the choice. You can afford to spend £2,000, or you can have a decent car that's going to last you a long time, that you need to get on finance. Like, most people don't have 15-16 grand sitting in a bank account just to buy a car. And the thing is, if you had 15-16 grand saved up, would you want to buy a car?
I know. So, like, we grew up and kind of like money was really tight and stuff, and when we went through the process of like the no debt thing, money was really tight, and you were always like, it kept me up at night and it really stressed me out. And do you know something, my goal was to spend the rest of my life stressing about anything, because it's just who I am, except money. I don't want to stress about money. I want to know every month that my bills are paid. I want to know every month that I don't have to think about it, and if I can't afford something, we just don't buy it.
Yeah, but it's nice having nice things. It's nice being able to show people that you can afford nice things. That's great. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing better than someone coming up to you and saying, "Oh, I really like your outfit," or not that anyone's ever said that to me, but do you know what I mean? It's a nice feeling when people acknowledge things that you're proud of. Whether it's materialistic or not, and I get that, but when people's sole focus is to have a better garden than their neighbour. Do you know what I mean? It's not because they want a better garden for themselves. It's not because they want.
Kind of like they've got to have a better car or a bigger house. Kind of, and you're sitting there and you're like, you know how much of your time you're wasting. Like, what could you be doing right now if this was what you were sitting worrying about? It shouldn't be a priority. I honestly think I could win the lottery tomorrow and nobody would ever know. I wouldn't go and buy a big fancy house or a brand new car or anything now. I would stay in my house because my babies were born there. I would live there. I'd definitely extend the attic, to be fair. But I wouldn't be going anywhere. This is my base. I would probably just travel a lot. And
So you'd
put
never
my
be at
fingers
home?
in a lot of pies.
No, you'd never be at home. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have these ambitions and dreams of wanting something, a better life.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
But what makes you happy? Does money make you happy, or does having time make you happy to do the things you love? Because see if you spend your entire life wanting more money to getting more money, and that's what you do, you get to the end of your life and you're like, where'd the time go? Whereas see if you live in the moment and appreciate the time you've got, and maybe just accept that you live with a wee bit less, or you think like work smarter, not harder type thing. So find a different way of making your money work for you and things. Then you get the time freedom. Then you sit at the end of your life and you're like, look at all that stuff I did because of the time I had.
the whole saying you can't take it with you is kind of like a real. It's the real thing.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I just want to be able to not have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Like financially, and I think money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does help.
It makes it easier.
Yeah, because it takes away a lot of the burden and stress that everyone is working daily to overcome.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real struggle for a lot of people, and I think financially, if everyone had no debts, nothing to worry about, they guaranteed a roof over their head, guaranteed food. I think this is where those sort of old school tribes really work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a YouTube channel I watch called Tribes Try, I think it's called, or like Tribal People Try. And it's these people that are taken from like a remote tribe out in like India or somewhere like that. And they're given like spaghetti carbonara, or they're given like KFC for the first time, or Pizza Hut, and they're like thankful for it, but they're not. For them, it's like it's irrelevant. It has no relevancy in their life because they all work together. They all offer the same contributions to their societies. They all live and work together as a community, and I like that idea. And it doesn't necessarily have to be sort of that regimented for like modern day society, but if we all work together and took away a bit of the burden of everyday life from each other, you know, if you've got something you can do that can help another person, then do it. Do you know what I mean? Offer that.
Well, like we're kind of, I do feel with the business, and I really hope that the staff feel like this as well. But like we are like flexible, and we kind of, I'll always say to them if there's any problems, if there's anything going on, like see, like from one day to the next, your entire life can change on its head, and I'd hate for them to be stressed out they're not about their job. So like you want to be able to help and make it work for them. So if things have to change, and you change it with them. If kind of like if you've got a kid who's ill and has appointments and things like that, like tell me, we'll work with that. Like kind of like if they still need to be able to work as well. And
do your staff? Do you feel you reassure your staff enough that is how you are?
That's so.
Is that like one of your goals, to make sure that they know that that's how you feel?
So like it's every single one of my staff members are so valued. Like our business is nothing without the staff. So we value our staff, and I hope I tell them constantly, you know, like at the staff meetings I'll say to them, if you've got a problem, if there's anything at all going on, like come and tell me about it and talk to me about it. Don't let it fester away or bubble up, because I can't do anything about it then. I can only fix the things I know about, and I'm going to be more angry if I find out you've been festering something and not said it than what I would be if you just came and told me.
So you hear this, guys? In conclusion, demand a pay rise.
If the standards are, if we can keep the standards high and the business is succeeding, and we can do that, we can make sure that the prices are correct so they can get their wages higher. You know, like deep cleans, for example. If somebody goes out and does a deep clean, that's hard work, but we get the customers to rate us between a 1 and a 4. And if
Why 1 and 4?
Well, because
that's
if they get,
fucking annoying.
No, because if they get a 1, our staff get an extra £2 per hour that they were at the deep clean.
Why not between 1 and 10? Why not between 1 and 5? Why 4?
Because then I'd have to like thingy it money wise. So like a 1 you get an extra £2, a 2 you get an extra £1, a 3 you're probably getting shouted back to do something, and a 4 is absolutely terrible and we're starting again.
Alright.
But it means that when you go out and do a clean, like you're getting an extra £2 an hour.
I like the idea.
Mm-hmm.
It annoys me that the rating system's a weird number. You couldn't have just done like...
You don't want too many options for people though. I need a concise answer so I know what to pay people.
I think it should be between 1 and 5.
Okay.
Just because that's a normal number to use.
So what if you get a 1 or a 2, you get
a 1.
£2?
No, if you get a 1, you get £2. If you get a 2, you get £1.
Yeah.
If you get a 3, you don't get shouted at, but you don't have to go back. You know, if
there's a 4 or a 5, you're
there's a
starting
4
again.
or 5. 4, you get your bollocking and you've got to go back and fix whatever you've done, and 5, you start again.
Yeah.
Just,
right, okay.
It's I can't be dealing with the weird number.
But it's an even number.
No,
It's an even
that
number.
disgusts me. Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of the incentives. I love the idea of it. But I'm the sort of person where, like, your TV remote the volume has to be on a 5 or a 0. Like,
What about 8, 10,
No.
6,
10, 10's fine. 6 and 4, nah, it's got to be on a
7
0.
and 9 or 3 I would get that.
No.
But no,
5 or 0. That's what it has
or
to be
an
on.
even number.
No even number.
What?
It has to be on like
But sometimes-
35 or 40. It
Sometimes
can't be on
25 is
36.
too low and 30 is too high, so you've got to go
You
for
just have to deal with
28.
it. You just have to shout over it. I'm sorry, but that's the rules. And this is what really annoys me about the cars. There's no number. It's just a line, and it really winds me up.
What with the fuel?
No, don't want the fuel with the volume.
Oh.
There's just a line, and it doesn't tell you like what specific number it's on.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, it's been educational this episode.
Yeah. God, I feel like I've just sat and talked about myself the entire time.
Yeah, well. No, it's been good. It's been interesting. It's been fun. I mean, it's a shame we're ending up with just a bin as our
With the
foreground.
old graveyard behind it though.
Yeah, but the camera doesn't see that, does it? It just sees a bin. But yeah, it's been educational. It's been a fun and interesting perspective on business.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I don't even know how to sound excited.
You don't just sound excited, but you just... Yeah.
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 It's just my deep voice. Yeah.